Welcome to the Gary Abbott YouTube channel. Today, the market report for the third quarter of 2025 from the villages. Many of you know this. I have been keeping track of the market reports since 2021 to see what happens to the pricing of homes, the value of homes, just so those of us in the villages or those who are looking to the villages, just what is happening compared to other places. I have done this report before and commented, I hate all of the YouTubes that say the market's crashing, everyone's moving out of Florida, it is a mass exodus, or the current economy or interest rates or all of those things are having an impact. I like to look at the numbers of sold. And that's what I'm going to focus on today, looking at the third quarter, but then I'm going to do a comparison of the other years in a spreadsheet that I do that is pretty simple, but it helps give you a little bit of an update. And it'll give you my experience over 4 years of what it's like in the villages with the market trends. So here goes. Let me load up my computer so you can see it and we can follow along. So let's open it up with the market update for the third quarter. And again, this report is broken into pre-owned homes that they sell through the villages agents, not the MLS listing. That's a separate deal. The Villages has its own agents that sell new property and pre-owned. And we'll come back to that a little bit later regarding the market size. But let's look at the pre-owned first. That's what comes up. I looked at the closed line. 396 closed in the third quarter and 2,285 total homes for the 3 quarters. The average selling price of a pre-owned home selling is, for the entire year, $479,000. Let's look at new homes. New homes closed 869 homes, 2,593, slightly more than the pre-owned. I think you would a lot assume that a Villages agent sells more new homes than they do pre-owned, but it's pretty close. It's pretty close. And so when you're looking at these numbers, you're looking at about 5,000 homes in the first 3 quarters when you add those up, and the totals are there, 5,094 homes. The new homes, the average price for the 3 quarters is $449,000. And that should be a sign to you that they're selling a lot of, I would call it over, it's the average. So they're selling $220,000 patio villas, and they're selling $1 million homes with great view sites and the rest. So you end up somewhere around $450,000. Now this report, I'm going to cut it a little shorter than in the past. The report does do the various areas, Spanish Springs, Lake Sumter. If you're looking to buy a home and you know what series you're looking for, these are great charts to show you what the average prices per series is. Now in the first 2, Spanish Springs and Lake Sumter, it's pretty much pre-owned homes. You're not going to find new homes until you get to the southern where they're building. These areas are pretty much built out, so you're only going to find pre-owned, but you will get the average prices in those series types of homes. And they go anywhere from villas or even manufactured homes of $200,000. Is this one in Spanish Springs. The average is $201 for manufactured. Patio villas, $222. And you will find that consistent pricing as you go along. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I'm going to put a link to this report in the description of the video so you can take a look at every one of these pages. So Spanish Springs, Lake Sumter Landing. The next one is Brownwood, which again, there's only a few new homes on this report that are being closed on. 74 were closed on, and the average sales price was $391,000. Sawgrass Grove, believe it or not, there was only, for new homes, 7 homes that were left that were sold. And so those ranged in price. For the third quarter, the average sale price was $549,000 for a new home. But year to date, 432, kind of close to the average. But again, you can look at the details in the report if you use the link. Eastport, totally the area in which new development is being built. And this is a pretty big area. This is encompasses some pre-owned, which would be out towards Fenny. And then you got the whole Eastport area that is being built out right now and going gangbusters. That's all I'm going to say is going gangbusters. But if you look in this range, you know, of the total number of homes, 862 new homes were sold in the third quarter. 2,433 were sold in the first 3 quarters. And I can tell you in this area, there's an awful lot of selling of lots and preferred lots, and people building or designing their own home within the parameters of the villages. This is something you need to talk to a villages agent about if you're interested in doing that. I have no affiliation with the villages. I don't represent the villages. I just look at the report and tell you what has been going on. And this has a breakdown for all the different categories of what the averages are. And they're just averages. People are buying less and people are buying more. So $1 million home will make up for 3 $300,000 homes to get to an average. So just understand that. But you may want to take a look at their website or their app and look at their homes and their designer types. You know, and I shouldn't say designer, that is a type. But look at all the various types. So let's go all the way back to the opening of the report and see how it compares up to other years in my spreadsheet. As rudimentary as it is, this will be my spreadsheet, so let's go to it. So I took those numbers from the third quarter and I plugged it into my spreadsheet here, which let me make it a little bigger. And I've broken it down just like the report does. Pre-owned, new. I don't do pending, I only do closed, because pending, if it falls through, it's not going to be closed. Closed is kind of like a snap to date. Pending, you could look at to see whether the market is doing better coming up, that more houses will be closed. But here's the numbers in the third quarter. When you plug those in, both pre-owned and new homes, they sold 257 more homes than last year. That shows me on my 18% more. Third quarter, that is a big number. It really is. And the timing, usually they say the sales go down in the summer. And that is just not the case here in the villages. I mean, on the fourth quarter, which I have highlighted here in a different color, those are 2024 numbers. I plug those in so we can get an estimate of what the year-to-date totals if they don't sell any more homes in the fourth quarter than they did last year. It's not holding true. Every quarter of this year, you can see it. First quarter, they sold 172 more homes. Second quarter, they sold 197 more homes than 2024. And third quarter, 257. I would not have predicted this, that they would have sold 626 more homes than they did last year. And right now my estimate shows for the year, which is just an estimate, 6,426 more homes. Wow, 18% more. With everything that's going on and high interest rates, and even though they've knocked it down a little 0.25%, I am just, wow. So let's look at this thing a little bit closer too. We can see from the first quarter, and I'm just looking at new homes, the average sales price has been, first quarter was $391,000. It went up to $477 in the second quarter, third quarter $475. That is higher. That is growing, and I think that is the lot sales in the either premier homes or the designer homes that people are building. They're costing more than $400,000. So I think the total dollars, even though we're counting number of home sales, I think the average pricing is going up because more people are building bigger, nicer homes than they have done in the past. So, estimating that out, if it was the same in the fourth quarter, and again an estimate, they're running at almost a 10.7, 10.8% higher than they were in 2024. So let's compare a number of years just to see what's happening. Okay, I like to show this chart because I think this chart kind of tells the story. I have numbers since 2021 in the middle of COVID. And there was a mad rush in the middle of COVID, and homes, as soon as they were built, they were sold. It was a timing in which that's not what it's like today. But they sold 7,122 homes in the year of 2021. They're not back to it even by my estimates. 2022 saw 6,113, 2023 5,601, 2024, now these are the totals, 5,800, and then my estimate for this year with 1 quarter to go as the estimate in there. I know some people got confused when I did this last time. With the 1 quarter not being in, which I think it will be higher if trends go the way they did for the first 3 quarters, they will sell more homes in 2025 than they will in 2024. But that number is looking at 6,426. That's amazing. That is amazing. Also, the average pricing, and I'm just going to look at this. I want to look at this just for new homes because that's the number that's getting closer to what they sold in 2021, because they sold a lot of pre-owned in 2021 because that's all that was available. But what I want to look at is, let's go all the way back. The average brand new home sales price back in 2021 for the whole year was $371,000. Those are in thousands of dollars. If we go to the end of 22, it jumped to 418. If we jump to 2023, it was 420, a little bit higher. 2024, 426. You can see the trend. The average pricing is going up. Now I haven't done an average here, but it's going to be higher than 426 for 2025. So the average sales of a home in the villages is on the rise. That's for each individual home. The home prices doesn't necessarily mean a home is going up, because I'm still amazed that patio villas are still running about the same price as back as 2021. You could find back then a patio villa, the lowest brand new home that you could get, about $220,000. Today, you can find them for $220,000. Now, I will tell you, they are not the same equal homes. There may be some features that are no longer there. There may be some things that they provided in 2021, like fans or blinds, or some of these items that they may have taken out for that price. But they're doing it to keep the price down to let people on an entry level get in. That, I think, also affects the pre-owned home sales, because people will look at a pre-owned home, and if the price is similar to a brand new home, would you want a brand new home or do you want a home 15 years old? That becomes a difficult question. That becomes part of the marketing of, you have two ways to go. But many pre-owned homes go on the market because people move into the villages, maybe with a smaller home, a second home, and then they decide to upgrade. And then there are a number of people who've bought designer homes who then decide to get a smaller house versus the bigger house. So there's a lot of transition even within the villages, and then new people looking at the villages to come. And I think that's important to know, that it's not all new people coming in from other states or even from the state of Florida, but it shows the market. So let's go back to what we were looking at. This chart doesn't show a dramatic, but I've separated out pre-owned in the blue and the kind of orange color that shows the new. And you can see it dropped as interest rates went up, everything went up, all the actions that were happening with our government. But the trend is building back up. And if you were looking at it at a dollar volume for the villages, their dollar volume's going up with the average home sale prices going up and how they do their sales. The other part of people buying the more expensive homes, picking a lot and then designing their home, it's probably a 6 to 8 month process. So when I use closed, those people are already in the works, figuring out their home. They're in the pending, and those home sales are coming. The final sales are coming 6 to 8 months after they started that process. So there's a lag. And I think that lag is catching up with new bills that are all set that you can just purchase and move in. And so those are combining up, but I don't see the villages here in Central Florida slowing up. It just has been, it went down after COVID. Once COVID hit, and then COVID started to come back, and all the costs, I mean, there's no doubt the cost of living has gone up everywhere in the country, whether in the villages or whether you live in Minnesota or whether you live in California, cost of living has gone up. But when you look at the market report, I hope you get this understanding. The villages is growing. The villages is growing. And if it grew by a 10%, wow, it's amazing. Good job, villages, for doing what you do. I will tell you that if you're interested in the villages, go to the villages website, kind of narrow down your floor plans that you think you like. But I will tell you, I just had this recent experience. I went to the model homes, and you must do that. There's one thing looking at a floor plan on a design sheet, And there's another thing to look at a fully furnished home of what it looks like. That's a whole different perspective. You're going to need to do that. I can tell you some homes that I thought that I just recently went to the model homes that I went thinking, I like this home, this is the one. And then I walked in some others, they blew them away. So there are so many different styles and so many different looks. You may want to really take a look at the model homes. I think that's worth a trip. But make sure there's so many homes. You would have trouble seeing so many. You need to narrow down what is in your price range and what you're exactly looking for. But when you walk into 2 or 3 of them, you're going to see why people are kind of wanting to design their own. I think that's what you're seeing with these, buying the lot and then tweaking your home. 2 feet bigger or 4 feet bigger lanai, you have those choices. I'm going on a little bit, but the market report has blown me away that it is growing faster than I anticipated. And the prices have stayed somewhat flat if you consider you get a brand new home for what a pre-owned home is. The prices are not skyrocketing. It may be a great time to really consider your options, but I think that will continue, that the number of homes sold is going to continue to rise, but the prices are going to stay relative to the cost. There's no doubt the builder's got to absorb some of that construction costs, and those prices of homes are going up, but not dramatically, not pricing everyone out of the market. I think in your different price brackets, you could still find a home that you could move to here. Let me know what you think in the comments. I really look forward to the 4th quarter. That's when we get to compare up all the years, no estimates, and we'll really see. But great job, Villages. You really have impressed me with the number of homes sold. We're going to get, at this pace, 2 years from now, we will be probably surpassing the high numbers of 2021. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. If you'd like to see me go into more detail, let me know that. If you like it this length, let me know that. Thanks for watching.